Welcome to WorkSpan TV. I'm Ryan Johnson of WorldatWork. I'm talking today with Laurie Bienstock of Towers Watson about the 2011, and then we're going to talk about the 2012 Global Talent and Reward Study that is conducted by Towers Watson in cooperation with WorldatWork. Thanks, Laurie.
Great, thanks, Ryan.
First of all, let's talk about what happened in the 2011 survey. What were some of the maybe three main findings that we discovered?
What we found in 2011 were that employers were having increasing trouble with attracting and retaining critical skill employees. So while attraction and retention of the general population still remained not a problem, as many of the headlines say, really focusing in on getting the critical skill employees that were needed for the organization's key work became a problem again. And we would expect that this might continue as we go forward. We also saw that the employment deal for employees really started to shift. So employers are expecting employees to work more. And also, following the recession, there had been so many changes at organizations that employees were really starting to suffer from change fatigue. Many programs were cut, layers of middle management were cut, and employees were working more hours. And really, we're starting to see the effect of this in terms of employees getting tired and starting to see some change fatigue.
So the 2012 survey may reveal more of that as well, correct?
Absolutely. And we're starting to look at what are the imperatives, what are the things that employers should do to respond to some of what we found last year.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. There were really three imperatives that came forward in the study last year. What were those?
Those were, number one, to start to look at segmentation. Are different groups of employees looking for different things, whether that's from a total rewards perspective, benefits, compensation, work-life balance. Number two, agility. How can employers continue to respond to changes within the economy or changes within their organization? And how can they make changes to their programs to reflect that in an easy way? And then thirdly, integration. So how do we ensure that our messages around employee value proposition, what we're offering to employees, and our reward programs are well integrated? So we really tried to focus in on those imperatives as a way for employers to respond to attraction and retention challenges as well as continued waves in the economy.
Now I know the 2012 study is going to go into depth on each of these, but I'm just curious about the one called agility. I wonder if you could talk about what are companies that you're working with or companies that you're seeing successful in this idea of agility. What does that mean for companies?
Yeah, and I think one of the main things is, how flexible are we in what we're offering? Base salary, for instance, is a fixed cost. Once we offer a salary to an employee, that's a cost that we have to pay no matter what. Many organizations, though, are using short-term incentive plans, for instance, and that really provides a lot of agility in terms of being able to ensure that the payouts align with organizational performance. Another one, and one that we'll be going into more depth this year, are recognition programs. Recognition programs offer a huge benefit to employers. They are often very valued by employees, but often very underutilized and misunderstood, or perhaps not on the radar for a lot of managers. So we want to do a deeper dive this year to understand what organizations are doing in terms of offering recognition programs. Are they tracking them? Do managers know about them? How are we communicating them? And how are they valued? So that's a great alternative, but also one I think that's underutilized.
And you talk about integration. You and I talked earlier about how you have this triangle between the total rewards person, the recruiter, and then the talent management people in an organization. Talk about what you're seeing out there.
One thing that we're finding is that oftentimes we continue in human resources to work in silos. And so talent management might be focused on what are the competencies that are needed by our critical skill employee population, and how can we make sure that employees understand those. At the same time, recruiters might be looking for folks with those same competencies, and likewise, the comp group might be trying to figure out how to pay for those. And we don't have a common way to talk through those, to understand them, and to build programs around them. And so many of the clients that we're working with are starting to put in some base foundational elements or to build their job architecture so that they can have common ways of talking to each other about jobs. So common job codes, common job titles, common definition of a job catalog around job functions or job families. And then on top of that, being able to communicate to employees in that same way. So how do we build out role profiles, career maps or career profiles? Can we put those out onto a portal so that employees can understand them? And then if everyone can click through and understand those, then recruiters can talk to and build the employee value proposition around these types of jobs, careers, roles. And when employees come into the organization, they can understand them in the same way. And likewise, we can make sure that we're pricing those jobs according to the same definition. And so really building that platform helps to build some integration points around the silos of HR.
I want to thank Laurie Bienstock for coming in today to talk about the 2011 Talent Management and Reward Study conducted by Towers Watson with WorldatWork, and we will be collaborating again in 2012 on the study. I want to thank you again, Laurie, and for WorldatWork and WorkSpan TV, I'm Ryan Johnson.